Hey folks, we're going to talk about the re-engineering I'm needing to do on this Hallicrafters 5R41 radio. So if you recall in the last episode, we determined that this was a battery unit and that I removed the battery switch from the unit. You saw that in the last video right there. So in order for me to rewire this thing, I obviously have to trace all the wires back that I've left dangling, but I also need to understand what my design looks like. So let me show you what I've done. So here's the power section as it is on the schematic. So you've got your power cord comes in, it goes to a depth cap, goes to a diode, goes to a resistor, goes here to a 60 microfarad cap, comes down, then comes across, and this is the switch right here. These 3-pole switch is the switch that where you actually insert the plug into to switch it to battery. If you look at the on-off switch here, it's also a double pole switch. So one side of the switch controls AC, one side of the switch controls battery, right? Two separate circuits. So if there's no power on the AC side and there's power on the battery side, it's going to work. So that's what we've got basically here. And then this wire here goes down to the filaments. And I'll push this up a little bit so you can see it. So basically it goes to the filaments and then everything ties off to B-, which is what this symbol stands for here. So let me show you what I've done. So there's the original schematic. So what I did is I went through and I said, okay, which are the parts that are related to the battery section? And everything that's highlighted here in black is related to the battery section. So that's easy. So those are the parts that I have to eliminate. I then took the drawing and said, okay, if I remove all those parts, what do I have left with? So I've got an on-off switch where one side goes to B- and one side ties off of the power cord. Everything else stays the same here. We still have our same connection here. And then I just simply have my connection coming here to the filaments. So that's the simplified version. Take it one step further. Let me remove these papers so you can see it. And that's what our final design looks like. Pretty simple, not much to it. So this is exactly what I'm going to duplicate on the bottom of the radio. All right? Power switch comes in, one side here, one side goes through the diode. This side attaches to the power switch, comes here to the filaments, attaches to B-. All good. I'm done. So that's the way that I decided to simplify the design here and make this work. And now it's going to be up to me to go ahead and actually execute it. So wanted to share that with you. Thanks. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the work on this radio, not all of it, just a little bit here. So what I'm going to do right now is I found I have 2 wires that come off of this radio, and I'll show them to you in a moment. And what they do is they attach to the on-off volume control switch. And if you recall, I told you on this configuration that it's a double pole switch. So there's one leg that goes for AC and one leg that goes for battery. So essentially the wires that are coming off of the battery side of this, which is the inside track here, I can cut. They don't go anywhere. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to snip that stuff. This is snip snip time. So this is the fun part. We all love doing this. So here's the first wire. Let me pull the shot back a little bit. Okay, here's the first wire, and it goes right here to the switch, and it's the only component that goes there. And we're going to go in and snip. Ready? Snip, snip. There it is. That's one. The second wire is right here, and we're gonna pull this through. Make sure we got the right one. Let me just lift this up a little bit. This one right here. Sorry for the delay on this. It's this little brown wire right here. Okay? And this brown wire, if you could see it, goes right here. Snip, snip. All right, so that's 2 wires I don't have to worry about reattaching. Let me cut this thing because it's tangled up in there. So that's 2 wires I don't have to worry about reattaching because they don't need to be there because there's no battery. So that part's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to this original drawing that I have here, right here, and we're going to mark off the pieces that I've already done. Smart, right? So we've removed this wire right here. We've removed this wire. We've removed the switch. We've removed the switch. We've removed the switch. This wire right here is done. This wire right here is done. Okay? So that's easy. Now the other wires that I have, theoretically, if you look at this thing correctly, should be for the heaters, the filaments. And I'm going to show you what I have left based on what I've been able to trace. Let's move the camera a little bit. There you go. All right, so this goes to the IU4 tube, okay? And that's the IF amp, and it goes to pin 7, right? And that's pin V2, I'm sorry, tube V2, and indeed does go to pin 7. That's great. This wire right here goes to the 2.4K resistor, which is right in here. Let me show you that a little closer. Actually, I'm going to tilt this back so you can see it. I called it a candome resistor. I don't think it's a candome resistor because a candome resistor is many resistors in one, but it's clearly a high wattage type resistor. And if you look here at the schematic, it's a 8-watt resistor right here, 2.4K. So this one wire goes there, and let's see where the other one is. Mm-hmm. 2.4K. So that's these two. So we know where they go, right? We just need to replace that resistor, and we know exactly where they go. So we're going to tie these together because they belong together. Easy, easy. This wire here goes to the IU5 pin 7, the heater. So that's 2 wires we've got here identified for heaters. This wire right here that I'm tugging goes to your B- right here. Simple, simple, simple. And then this last wire here, I haven't traced yet. So I'm getting close. Now I have this black wire here, which I haven't figured out what that is yet. But we're getting there, right? So we don't have a lot of wires to connect. It's really going to be mostly heaters. And at the end of the day, just looking at our final diagram, once we connect everything together right here, all going to go through that 2.4K resistor I showed you. And that's going to go through another 2.7K resistor up to the rest of the circuit, right? So it's really just going to be a question of putting a terminal strip here and connecting a lot of this stuff together. Pretty simple, not hard. So that's going to be what I do next. I'll trace back the wires that I haven't identified yet. You got to remember, I told you when I got this radio, someone had cut a bunch of wires, and I'm not exactly sure why, but I do know that this black wire here and this black wire here are connected to the same spot. That I know for sure because I've already ohmed them out. So we're gonna check that. Okay. So I suspect that this was used as part of the right here. That's one of the leads for the 60 microfarad cap right there. So I have 2 wires going to the same place. So I should be able to get rid of one of those easily. But I'll tell you why I didn't cut them yet. Let's see if I can get you in there real close up. I don't know if you could see this, but this is a botch job right here. This is one big glob of solder, and there's a whole. It looks like someone put a capacitor in here, and they didn't even wrap it around. They just laid it on top. So I'm going to have to clean all this up and all that stuff. So I'll do that at another time. So we're on our way. All right, we've done a little snipping, and we're getting close to where we need to be. And I think the way we're going to attack this is because I have so much real estate here. And we're going to slide this over here for a minute. Because I have so much real estate in this thing, I'm probably going to put a pair of terminal strips, one here and one here, like so. And I'll put my filter caps in there as well, and I'll use the extra connections for the heater and for the B-, and as well for the power coming in. So we're in good shape, and I also have to put that diode back in, etc., etc., etc. So that's where we are with this radio. Making progress. We now understand what we need to do. We have our modified drawing to eliminate the battery, and life is good. So I think what I'll do is put this video up because I don't want it to be too long. I try to keep my videos at 10 minutes or a little bit less. I don't want this to be a 20-minute video. So when we come back in the next episode, there's two things you're going to see. You're going to see the terminal strips mounted here, and you're going to see the beginning of the recap for the S-20R, because I'm going to begin that project as well. Remember, I'm doing two at one time here. It's all good. Anyway, this is Ron. Just wanted to show you what the modified schematic looks like, and that it's really not that hard. I think, Doug, you mentioned that you have a battery-powered radio that you're going to convert. I mean, you're much more advanced than I am when it comes to this stuff, but hopefully you saw how easy it was for me to just eliminate that stuff. So, right, going from here to here, major difference. Okay, you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon. This is Ron.